And I remember I took a psychology class, and one of the things that they would talk about, one of the things that they brought up was the spotlight effect, where you think everybody cares about you. You think, there's just like, it's like when you are doing a play and there's like a big flashing light just on you. That's how you believe, you know, everybody sees you. Like there's this big light just on you. But in reality, I'll tell you right now, they don't. There isn't. It was the middle of the semester too. He got to me and he was like, I'm sorry, who are you? He doesn't, and I was like, dang. And that's the moment I realized, like, do I, who do I think I am? Who the heck do I think I am that I believe a professor, someone else will have so much time just to think about that student. I was just like, dang, I am selfish. I am self-centered. I was like, who in the world would think, hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. So, I wanted to talk about, I have a little secret. I feel like I have to, but I always struggled with hiding away and avoiding any attention. Even to the point where I would even avoid interactions because I didn't want to be the center of attention. I didn't want anyone to see me, right? So I had this fear of being seen. I finally recognized into recently because I always felt uncomfortable with any kind of attention, even like public speaking. I would avoid interactions, and then of course, this the way you treat yourself is a direct hit to your self-esteem and confidence. So this fear of being seen really affect all my personal growth. And I feel that's where it started because the moment I took college, it just hit me. This fear of being seen was a big anchor, it's a big baggage. It was just like, I was just carrying it around. I don't know. The moment I've really had that, like, the turning point of everything where I'm like, okay, I need to deal with this. I need to get over this or get out of college, because there's no way I'm allowing this fear of being seen take so much control of everything, So for example, during college, most of the classes, I was so happy. Most of the classes were like over, 100 to, 200 people in the class, right? So I was never like, I'm like, okay, I'll never be part of the attention. So I always avoided the front and the back because I wanted to avoid any type of attention. So I'd always sit like in the middle to the end sides, right? Because I didn't want any attention, hide, right? So, but one time I decided to take this class because I had I needed 12 hours and I didn't have any other class as an option. So I was like, well, this sounds fun. So I decided to take a history Renaissance class, right? And that was a turning point because when I took that class, there was only like 20 people. 20 people in that class. It was like crazy. And I remember he was talking about how attention was mandatory. You can only miss 15 classes, right? So I guess when I saw that we were only 20 people, I noticed the professor really wanted to meet everybody and talk to everybody. And he even made us, talk about any notes that we had. We had to take notes about the books we read and give our perspective of it. And that really scared me because I was like, oh no, everybody's going to turn around and see me. So I was like, he let us be absent for 15. I took advantage. I didn't go for 15 of the classes in the first semester. I was like, I'm not going to any of them. So I didn't go, right? And once I came back and I was like, okay, I have to go now. I was like, shoot, he's gonna be mad at me. He's gonna be, he'll yell at me. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be judged. I went to that class, like after those 15 times that I've completely went, he was calling out names because I was like, I didn't realize he liked calling me names, but calling out names. And then he got to me. It was it was the middle of the semester too. He got to me and he was like, I'm sorry, who are you? He doesn't, and I was like, dang. And that's the moment I realized, like, who do I think I am? Who the heck do I think I am that I believe a professor, someone else will have so much time just to think about that student. I was just like, dang, I am selfish. I am self-centered. I was like, who in the world would think the only moments they probably think about me is like seconds, milliseconds. They don't care. That's when I recognized when he said, "Who are you?" That's the moment I recognize people do not care about you as much as you think they do. They don't. They have other lives, other problems that aren't you, And I was just like, wow, I really thought, I was like, frick, I just started having more self-awareness because I was like, I am being very selfish and I am the one that's being, I was centering myself and other people. Like, because that moment shifted my perspective because I noticed that the professors didn't care about me. The other students in that class didn't care about me. Nobody really cares about me except myself. I was giving so much pressure into the fact that I could be seen and being judged by others. But in reality, they weren't judging me. They're not worried about me as much as I was worried about myself. They're worried about themselves. They don't care. Like, honestly, the moment I was like so eye-opening and free because I realized they don't care about me. The professor didn't know my name. He didn't even care to know my name, because I didn't go to his class. So understandable. He didn't even write it down on the, he didn't have it down. He thought I wasn't a student anymore. How crazy is that? I was like, that was very awakening point of my life because I've recognized that people don't care about you. And every single time I ever do go to that point where, I don't want to be seen, I remember that way of my life where professors didn't care about knowing my name or even knowing who I was, even though there was only 20 people. And as I realized that, putting that, I was being very self-centered. Even when I was talking to people, I would always think about how should I respond? I started recognizing that's also self-centered. And I remember I took a psychology class, and one of the things that they would talk about, one of the things that they brought up was the spotlight effect, where you think everybody cares about you. You think, there's just it's like when you are doing a play and there's like a big flashing light just on you. That's how you believe, everybody sees you. Like there's this big light just on you. But in reality, I'll tell you now, they don't. There isn't believed that everybody is staring at you because we think everybody's staring at us and noticing us, but they aren't. They aren't. That's what I recognize they really aren't. And even if they are, they will quickly forget it. That's also something because I remember talking to that one class in Renaissance. The first day he made us introduce ourselves, right? So I did talk for a moment, but after those 15 times that I missed class, he completely forgot about me. So that's when I realized they forget about you really quickly. So the moments that they see you, they forget everything. So one, I recognize that people don't really care about you or don't really notice you. And then two, I recognize that people forget. The moment they see you or the moment that you do something, they forget. They go back to what they were doing. Because we were preconditioned to place ourselves in the spotlight, think we need to shrink ourselves down, but to to prevent this, started recognizing first, becoming aware. You have to be aware. The moment you start noticing yourself feeling like you're being seen, the first step is to always be aware, Understand that others are never as tuned into you as you are, Nobody cares. They're all in their own little world. They're not staring at you. They don't care. And then two, something I always thought about, if they really are, you're never going to see them. They're never going to see you again. They're going to forget about you. I don't know, that it's so harsh, but it's true. Unless there's someone that you have in your life, constantly, you see them every day, then yeah, they'll remember you. But if they don't, they're going to forget who you are. They're going to see it, forget. They're not going to know. Whenever I think about, the spotlight, I always confront it by saying, so what? Like, so what? They're staring at you. So what? Worrying about what other people think about you and then believing that other people think about you in the first place is selfish, because you are becoming very self-centered, and in reality, people don't care. You are also putting your emotions into them. So stop being afraid of being in the spotlight because one, people don't care about you. Two, they're in their own little world. The same way you are, they are too, 2, 3, whenever you're doing conversations, snap out of it. People don't care. Stop thinking about what you're going to say, because then you're going back to that spotlight effect, or because you're thinking about how you're going to sound, how they're going to think about you. They're not care. They don't care. They just want to have a conversation. Get out of that. Focus. Be present. Talk to them. And even when you go do something like that, so what? They're going to forget like that. That's just going to be part of, the big old life, Their big reality is not going to affect them. Reality, they're just going to forget like that. People in reality don't care, and I feel like that's a good thing. But yeah, that's it. Bye. Have a nice day.